Yeah, Jeff, maybe just to start out, you obviously became chairman of the NPGA board June 5th. What was that day like for you and, being sworn in with your family there?
It was a very well attended meeting, and it was nice that at Propane Days we were actually able to be up on the hill for the first time since 2019. So, uh, it was a great experience. A lot of people were very supportive.
And during that first, I guess, address as chairman, you talked about, your travels coming up to different state and regional association meetings, and you got into some of the detail about what you hope to discuss. But maybe just as a teaser, I guess, to your travels this year, what do you look to discuss with the membership, and how can some of the propane industry members prepare for those discussions?
The energy landscape in this country is changing. There's the electrification of everything sentiment that we are operating in. There's a consumer and generational mindset shift that's well underway. Regardless of how we feel about it, uh, you know, this country is on a path to eliminate CO2. Um, and even given the energy choice laws that many associations have been successful in achieving in various parts of the country, just because a consumer has a choice does not mean that they will make the one that we wish them to. We must tell our story and communicate. So, to answer your question, how are we changing? What new things are each of us going to do in our business to diversify and support new products that we have not sold previously?
And that's a good segue into the next question. Just maybe about your own business, Blue Star Gas, out in California and handful of Western states. You talked about the power generation segment being positive for your company as well as auto gas. Are those some of the market areas that you're talking about as far as what the industry and some of the marketers need to do to grow those businesses and prepare for the future?
Yeah, they absolutely are, Brian. My company, Blue Star Gas, I'm third generation, 85-year-old family owned business. We have, like most marketers, a good uh, mix of traditional business, residential, commercial, industrial, resale. We have diversified really starting 2008 when we became part of Alliance Autogas into the auto gas segment. Today, it makes up almost 20% of our business. It has been a very important and good thing for the economics of our business, seasonality, cash flow. We then, certainly in California, have experienced uh, tremendous grid trauma. In 2017, in our community of Santa Rosa, Sonoma County, Northern California, we lost 5,800 homes in one night in a firestorm. We were selling generators, certainly prior to that. Needless to say, with all of the chaos that ensued in the years after that, generators have been a major part of our business. And it is the fastest growing segment of our business. We are now transitioning from backup generators to prime power. There are some very interesting and exciting products that are coming to market and that we are in the process of supporting through regulatory approval and working closely with PERC to help get those to market. Diversification is critical to the future of our industry. We must rethink how propane is utilized. The future is changing, and we must shape and define it. So we need to sell not only burner tips, but also spark plugs.
and you talk about some of these markets and growth opportunities. Maybe just another question related to maybe more of a traditional market for the industry being, propane fueled forklifts. And obviously, a lot of challenges and threats in California related to the internal combustion engine forklift. Just wanted to get your take on that, Jeff. Where do things stand with that as far as that threat to the industry? And from your perspective, what's the industry doing to respond?
Well, it is a very significant threat, particularly for a number of marketers in California. As we have seen, things start here and they move elsewhere. The future of the forklift industry is very challenging. Manufacturers suffer a lack of conviction, really, in preserving the internal combustion market, largely is what we're finding. There are significant efforts being put forth, certainly by the Western Propane Gas Association, from a regulatory perspective. The forklift market won't go away entirely, but certain segments of it will. And really, the forklift market is going to do the same thing, really, as I think in part auto gas, where it's going to move and migrate from light duty to medium duty applications. That is where the use case duty cycle is not supported well by electricity and is supported well by propane.
Jeff, we talked a little bit about you being a pilot and the fact that over the next 12 months, your role as chair, you're going to be flying to some of these meetings, a lot of them, I imagine, across the country. Just find that intriguing that you're able to do that. I know you've shared some information with me about from an aviation publication about your role and your love of flying. Can you share a little bit about that, with us and with the industry and how you uh, look to utilize that role as your role of chairman of
Sure.
NPGA?
Yeah, certainly. We have at Blue Star, we've built our business really with aviation and around aviation. It is heavily supported. We have a couple of King Airs that we run. In terms of how that will tie into my role as chair of NPGA, I just returned from a couple of weeks on the East Coast, going to various state meetings. I have 23 industry events from the time that I took the chairmanship in Washington, D.C. until the end of the calendar year of 2023. So, 7 months, 23 engagements all over the country, as you said. I will be flying to many of them. It is allowing me to probably attend more events than I would otherwise have the opportunity to do, just because of the pure logistical challenges. For example, last week I spoke to the Southeast Propane Alliance in Hilton Head, South Carolina in the morning, and I flew 800 miles up to New Hampshire and spoke to the membership at PGAN.
And where did that love of flying come from?
Well, I'm not only a third generation business owner, but a third generation pilot in my family. Grew up around it. I was my father's autopilot when I was 8 years old. Um, uh, it's really been a part of our family's experience for going back all the way to when my grandfather was a barnstormer in the Midwest, Kansas, where my family's from, uh, in right after World War I, 1918. So we've flown consistently really since then.
And obviously that's a hobby of yours, but away from the office and the propane industry, what are your hobbies? What else do you like to do?
Well, I love to fish, so I've been able to really pair up my love of flying with that of fly fishing. So I spend a great deal of time in the Idaho backcountry in the wilderness. There's many strips dirt strips that can land on. We have a Cessna 180. Love to go back there, take friends and colleagues, and experience the wilderness and hike and fish. So that really is a big part of my life.
Jeff, just wrapping up here. Anything else that you wanted to share with us?
Really, my goal this year is to get people to think about how they can be uncomfortable in growing their business, trying new things, and thinking about how we're going to move within this energy landscape that we're trying to navigate right now. We have a great story, and we must tell it, and we must, more importantly, act upon it.